Hey everybody, I hope you're all doing well. Now I'm back out on my farm permission this week, but I'm on a brand new field. This is as far away from the events fields as I can possibly get. It's been used a little bit for camping, a little bit for pasture, but I'm hoping there's going to be some older stuff here as well. I'm out with the Amphibio and I'm going to be testing out the deep mode on the Amphibio. Never used it before. We'll see how that does today. I'm Adam, this is my metal detector, and that's a brand new field. Welcome to Detect Sussex. Okay, so let's get the machine set up. Now, I will say very quickly, I don't normally use these. This is the arm strap. It goes in the arm cup. I just find it gets in the way a little bit when you're detecting. But the Amphibio is a little heavier than the Simplex. Simplex I can swing all day, no problem at all. This is just a little bit heavier. And after a few hours, 4 or 5 hours over the last few weeks using the machine, I've just found my arm aching just a little bit at the end. So I thought I'd give myself a little extra support and just see how we get on with this today. It may well be off by the end of the hunt, I don't know. But spring detectables coming up in a few weeks. I'm hoping to have this on my arm quite a lot during the weekend, so I thought I'd try and get used to it now. Let's have a little look at the machine and get it set up in deep mode. Just turn so you can see the screen a little better. There we are. So we're going to turn the machine on. Give it a second. The machine always defaults into search mode selection. So on the left hand side, we're going to go down to deep mode. I'm going to switch over to settings. Now the gain always defaults to 70. I'm going to put it up to 90 just because I want to get quite a bit of juice out of it today. Now it is quite a chattery mode, deep mode, so 90 might be too much. I'll see how it goes. I'll probably end up turning it down, but we'll start off in 90. I'm not going to worry about any other settings. I'm still getting used to the machine, so I'm going to keep it fairly basic. And on the option side of things, frequency wise, I'm going to use 14, which is sort of a middle of the road. The Simplex runs in 12 kilohertz. This goes 5, 14 and 20, so I'm going to go 14 kilohertz, so middle of the road. Again, no other options selected. There is another mode on here which you can access as you're detecting, and it's used by it's accessed by using this button here. It's the EUD, extra underground depth. So if I've got a signal which is deep and it's just a little bit scratchy, the sound isn't great, the VDIs are wobbling all about, just because it's on the fringe of the depth, I can use that function to squeeze every last bit of juice out of the Amphibio and try and get a stronger reading. So I may be trying that out later if I get an opportunity to. We'll see how it goes. Otherwise, let's get cracking. Okay, first hole. I didn't record it because it was jumping around all over the place. It's a new mode. I just wanted to get a quick dig and see what it was. I've actually been rummaging around in here for ages. You can see all the mud I've managed to get out. It's actually a large bit of rusty iron, by the look of it. Just there. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. It is big. I'm not going to be able to extract that, I don't think. I've tried to sort of get around it, and it is a very sizable piece, so I think we'll leave that be. I don't think it's anything of interest, but that is 9 inches. There's a measurement scale, well there's one on here but it's not quite big enough. There's a measurement scale on the back of the Nokta Makro spade. Stuck it in, and that is about 9 inches from the surface straight down there, and it picked it up quite well. It was jumpy, and the mode is definitely a chattery mode, as I said, but yeah, no, it was very good. So I'll fill this in and we'll keep going, and we'll see how deep mode goes moving on. Onward. Okay, so this is the kind of sound, I've turned the headphones off, this is the kind of sound I'm getting as I'm going around. That is all chatter. There's no actual signal there, it's just chatter. So it's quite a chatty mode, but when you find something, it is quite positive, it is quite definite, so I think that's something I just need to get used to with this mode. So we've got one here, it's coming up around about 90, up slightly above, slightly below. You do need to be very slow with this mode as well, so it's very, very slow sweeps. It's not a quick mode at all, but you'd expect that, it's a deep mode. So definitely got something coming up there, somewhere in the sort of late 80s, early 90s. So I'm going to give that a little dig and see what that is. Okay, found it. I'm not sure what it is yet, I haven't quite picked it up, but thought I'd just look at it together with you. Looks like a modern item, whatever it is. Wasn't that deep. Oh my god, really? Oh wow, okay. That looks very much to me like a camera lens. You're kidding. Those marks on there. That's fairly unmistakable, isn't it? Camera lens? Or some other sort of optical lens that... Huh. Let me just try and get this cleaned up and we'll have a look at it as it is, as it should be. Crikey. Alright, so I've cleaned this up as best I can in the field. Some of this stuff is quite stubborn. The actual lens itself has gone. That wasn't in there. But yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I mean, if you know better than I do, then tell me. But that to me looks like a lens off of a camera, possibly a pair of binoculars, something like that. So you've got the grip there to move it with. You've got where are they? These markings here, you know, plus or minus up to 2 or you know, down to 2. That to me is like a focus or a zoom perhaps. But yeah, I mean, I'm into my videography, but the camera side of it I'm not that good on with the hardware. So if you know what that's from, 100%, drop me a comment down below. Otherwise, onward. Okay, next signal. Nice strong signal here. Bouncing a little bit, but I think that's normal for this mode based on the last few targets I've seen. Around about the 30s ish, just about there. It's bouncing quite a bit, but it is a very strong audible signal, so repeatable. Let's give it a go. Alright, it's up here somewhere. Okay, we're getting somewhere, we're getting there. Let's put the pinpointer there. Nope. Nope. Aha, there it is. Oh, you're kidding. So I think this has been used for camping a little bit over this field. Not so much as the other field. But that appears to be a bottle top. Marvellous. Onward. Okay, first coin of the day. Now it was coming up early to mid 80s and it is about the size of a 2p, so I'm not getting excited. Let's have a little look and see what it is. Some writing on it. 1980. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a 2p. 1980. With those numbers. Yeah, number 2 at the bottom there. Yeah, that is a 2p piece. Let's just clean it up a little bit for the heads up display. There we are. Yeah, bit of a grotty one, but first coin of the day, 2p piece. Onward. Okay, so there's definitely targets in this field. I was a little bit worried it might not be much here, but definitely some targets. Got something in this bit of mud. It's coming up mid 70s, again a little bit bouncy. I think that's fairly normal for this mode, just because it's putting a lot of power into the coil to get down there. Oh, what's that? Ah, it's another one of them. wherever that is. Oh, it almost looks like something you put around a bird's leg, isn't it? I found one of these on the beach before, if it's one of those. Mud out. Yeah, I mean, going back probably over a year now, I found a bird tag on the beach, and you can actually report them on online and let the owner know that that you found the tag. I can't see any writing on this one though. No, it may not even be a tag. It might just be a, I don't know, some sort of clip. But there we are. That is one of them. Onward. Okay, this is by far the most stable VDI I've had so far today. 7071. Really, really powerful sound. Let me turn the headphones off. You can hear it. But look at the depth gauge right in the middle there. There. Coming up quite deep. So it's either very, very small or it is deep. But that's a nice strong signal. Pinpointer on it. About there. Right. Let's have a little dig and see what we can find. Okay, so the plug's open. Right, it is coming up in the clod, so it's probably quite a small item if it's showing us very deep. If you're not familiar with the way depth works on metal detectors, they base it on basically usually a coin about that sort of size. So if it's a very small item, it assumes it's a long way away, and if it's a very big item, it assumes it's really close. So pinch of salt really with the depth, but can be quite useful. Give you an idea. Right, just coming up in there. Oh, it's a coin. It is a pound coin. Crikey. Fairly modern one as well. Maybe this has been used for camping a little more recently than I expected. That's okay. Happy with a spendable. It's a 2017 coin of the pound variety. Now, speaking of coins of the pound variety, as I said earlier, I'm going to be at Spring Detectable this year. All signs point to it, it's going to be taking place. So if you're watching this video, and I'll mention it on my next few videos as well, if you're watching this video and you fancy getting yourself a Detect Sussex pin badge, and you're going to be at Detectable, find me, come and find me. I'll probably be wearing my Nomads gear, okay? So don't look for the guy in blue, look for me in my Nomads gear. Come and find me, have a chat, say hello, you know, I'll give you a sticker. But if I've got any left, and you come up to me and you say the words, coin of the pound variety, I will give you a Detect Sussex pin badge, okay? So a little thing just for the people who are watching my videos. Come up and have a chat. Come up, say to me, in the course of our conversation, coin of the pound variety, and I'll give you a Detect Sussex pin badge as long as I've still got stock, okay? That's the only proviso. As long as I've still got them, you can most certainly have one. So there we are. Cool. Coin of the pound variety. Onward. So several people over the last few weeks have asked me the same question, so I thought I'd do a little clip in this video to answer it. I've been using the Amphibio now for a few weeks. I've got the Simplex I've been using as well. Which is the better detector? Now, the Amphibio is more complex, okay? There are 3 full menus of modes and settings and options that you can choose. You can change the frequency, it's got a gain setting, you've got 9 search modes. There's a lot more adjustment possible on the Amphibio, and judging by the testing on YouTube and certainly some of the experiences I've had with it so far, it is a little bit deeper. The Simplex is a lot simpler to use, as the name suggests. It's a lot easier. The menu system is a lot easier, but it's still a very powerful detector. The Simplex is lighter. The Amphibio is slightly heavier. Which is the better detector? The better detector is the one that fits the detectorist the best. Okay, if you're a beginner, don't get the Amphibio. It's going to be too complicated for you. Okay, start with the Simplex, get used to that. If you're more experienced, but you pretty much just want to turn the machine on and go, the Simplex is the better detector for you. If you've got some experience, you know how a metal detector works, and you want to try something a little bit more complex, and you're happy with lots of menu options and the technology in the Amphibio, then the Amphibio is an absolutely fantastic choice, and that is probably the better detector for you in that circumstance. So which is the better detector? No matter what you're looking at, no matter what models you're looking at, it's whichever one fits your experience and the experience you want to have out in the field the best. So there we are. Let's get on with the hunt. Okay, another really strong signal. Turn the headphones off so you can hear. Really, really strong there. Early to mid 70s. I've actually got the volume on the detector down halfway. It's louder in my headphones, but when you take the headphones off, it's only halfway on the volume, so it would be a lot louder than that at full volume. Okay, about there, I think. Let's give it a dig. Okay, somewhere around about there. Pinpoint is not going at full speed, so obviously still a little bit more depth, probably another couple of inches. Okay, so you rejoin me, having found the item in the hole. That is a deep hole. Now I'm using deep mode today, so you'd expect things to be fairly deep. Let's see, what have we got? So the Polestar pinpointer is a big pinpointer, right? And it is lost in there. That is lost in that hole. That's got to be, let's get the shovel in there. Check the measurement of the shovel. That is, well, there's the ground, so what's that, 10.5 inches, 10.5 inches on the depth. Found it as if it were just below the surface, and this is what it was. Yeah. I think it's the end of a hoe. What do you think? I reckon the end of a hoe. Old style hoe. Oh, it could be a handle or something, but that's quite a blade on the end there, so I'm pretty sure that's a hoe. What do you think? Crikey. Well, that is deep. Onward. Alright, so hold here. This was coming up a very solid 64. Wobbled slightly, but not very much. It was quite a definite 64 on the numbers here. And I've just plucked it out the hole, and it's this. Now, my immediate reaction is that a bullet? It's not terribly heavy, but it's got that point on the end, and there's a few lines down the bottom here. So is that rifling, or is that something else? Not sure. It's definitely hollow at the end there, so it could be a hollow tip bullet, or possibly a tracer round. But yeah, it's quite long and thin, so that's probably quite specific. So what it would be from. Let's get the brush on it. Try and just clean it off a little bit more. I love finding stuff like this. I love the Militaria stuff. I like anything old, but yeah, sort of Militaria stuff is good. Or similar. I mean, maybe a civilian round, I don't know. But yeah, I have to try and dig some of that mud out of the end. later, but there we are, there it is. If you can identify that for me, I'd be very, very grateful. Lovely stuff. Onward. Okay, loud sound, early 50s, a little bit of lead. Quite flat and shiny, so presumably designed for something, but a little bit mangled now. Yep. Onward. Okay, this was a screaming signal, around about 95, it was only a couple of inches deep. And it's that. Some kind of a bracket or plate, maybe a reinforcing plate of some description. Obviously a modern item. A little bent on the end there. No, I can't quite bend that back, that's been bent by something quite strong. There we go. Onward. Okay, so this was coming up all over the shot, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, everywhere, but the sound was pure, the sound was high pitched and very, very strong. So I gave it a dig just to see what it was. And it is a modern 2p piece. The Royal Shield design on the back, but look how rusty that is. That is not spendable anymore. Yuck. Yeah. Onward. Okay, so I don't know whether it's to do with the mode or whether it's just ground conditions today, but I found another coin of the pound variety. Modern one, spendable one. And normally these come in at 69.70, but both the ones I've had today have been more 70.71. So it's only a marginal difference, but it is slightly higher. So I don't know whether that is to do with the mode, whether because it's a bit more powerful that the VDIs come out just slightly off, not sure. But that's another spendable pound. Happy with that. 2016 on the date. Coin of the pound variety. Onward. I'll tell you something, deep mode definitely likes coins. This was another screamer of a signal. 2p piece. What's the date on that? Not a very old one, I don't think. 1995. 2p piece. There we go. Onward. Okay, next up, just a little scrap of lead. A really strong signal coming through. But yeah, just a little tiny bit of lead. Don't think there's anything designed about it. I think it's just a little scrap. There's no markings or shape to it, so there we go. Definitely lead though, by the weight. Yep, onward. Okay, coming out of the hole, solid 25, really solid 25. I don't know what that is. Any ideas? Give that a bit of a clean out. Push some of that mud out. Any thoughts? There's a black bit there. Some sort of a hair clip or something. I don't know. Looks a bit robust for a hair clip. I have no idea. Is that supposed to be bent around like that, or is that supposed to be out here somewhere? I can't get any of it to move or flex, so apart from that bit, it feels more sprung, so maybe it's supposed to be around that way. Yeah, not a Scooby of the do. So if you know what that is, drop a comment down below, let me know. I'd be very interested to find out. Otherwise, onward. Okay, come up the early 40s. Another good signal. We have a 20p piece. Obviously, I'm not finding as many spendables as I normally do on the events fields, but still a few more than I expected today, if I'm honest. 1999 on the Tudor Rose side of the 20p piece. There we have it. Onward. So that's deep mode. How did I find it? Very, very chattery, but the manual did say to expect that. It's putting a lot more power into the coil, so that's why you get a little extra noise. But when you do find a target, it really does tell you. It really does let you know that there's something there. Especially the shallow targets, they come out a lot stronger in the sound, in the audio, than you'd normally expect in the other modes. When would you use deep mode? I think I'd probably use it if I'd completely hunted out an area. If I've got a park or a field and I've done it 2, 3, 4 times, I'm not really finding anything more. I think you take the Amphibio, put it into deep mode and try and get a little extra depth and see if you can dig a little deeper into the field and just revitalize that field a little bit, get a few more finds out of it. I did find also that I was digging in the sidewall of the holes quite a lot, almost like the pinpointing wasn't quite so precise on this mode. It may just be that I'm having a bad day, that's entirely possible, but I wonder whether, because there's more power going into the coil, whether the field is a little bit fatter, and so I'm just missing it a little bit, so maybe need to dig the plugs a little bit wider. But yeah, otherwise really enjoyed the deep mode today, and yeah, let's have a look at the roundup and see what I've managed to find. Okay, time for the roundup. Let's have a look and see what we managed to find with the Amphibio in deep mode today. So we've got bottle top, little rivet or something similar, little ringy thingy, got a ring pull, got whatever on earth that was, still haven't figured that one out yet. We have got this bracket or plate, fairly modern thing, couple of bits of scrap lead, we've got that rusty 2p piece, yeah, rivety thing again, washer, we've got a rather large hoe, or the end of one, yeah. Interesting find. We've got our coins, so we've got a few spendables, more than I was expecting today. So we've got a couple of pennies, a couple of 2p's, 20p, 1, 2, 3 pounds. So that's 3 pounds, 20, 2, 4, 6. So 3 pounds 26. Not bad considering I'm a long way away from the events field here. So yeah, I'm guessing that's just stuff that people have dropped while they've been camping. And finally, more interesting finds. We've got this, what I think is a lens, or was a lens once, for a camera or possibly binoculars or something like that. Again, if you know better, drop me a comment down below and let me know. And this, so nice little bullets, and again quite long and narrow. So if you can identify that for me, caliber, maybe even the weapon, that would be absolutely fantastic. No idea if it's military or civilian, but yeah, really enjoyed finding that today. Lovely little surprise. So really enjoyed using that mode today. Didn't get to use the EUD function. Hopefully we'll get to use that another week. I'll be back out with the Simplex next week. Probably back here again. Maybe go back over to the events field and see what we can find over there with the SB24 coil. And don't forget, I'll be at Detectival in a few weeks' time, middle of June. If you're going, drop me a comment down below and let me know you'll be there. Anyway, have a fantastic week, everybody, and I will see you soon. Take care.